Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Pedovich here at WCNC. Welcome into Live Weather Impact for this Monday, October 20th. And boy, it finally feels like legit October weather. This was the coolest morning we've had so far this season. The afternoon was gorgeous as well, and you're probably saying it was really cool, Brad. It was exactly near normal. It was like the first time in a long time we had an average day, and that's how warm it's actually been recently. Let's take a look at our views because we're going to start missing some of these here pretty soon because the sun is setting earlier and earlier. It's not a shock here, right? 6:42 tonight is the official sunset here in Charlotte, and look at those views out there. Golden hour is upon us, golden glow because of the leaves changing. Even here in the Piedmont, we're starting to see some fall color, and it's kind of in the low end, but it's starting to accelerate pretty quickly. And I tell you what, days like this will do it because cool nights, warm afternoons, that's this week in a nutshell. 44 this morning, so yeah, that is below average, but just slightly. 49 is the normal low, but the high, 72, exactly. That's room temperature, right? We are right at average. And where are we right now? Just after 6 o'clock. The sun sets within the next 15 minutes here, and temperatures are cooling down quickly. This is the time of year where once the sun does go down, the temperature drops quickly. And if you're wondering why I don't have color contours behind us, that's an AWS issue. So we have some data, but we are getting some issues with that AWS outage as well. But 68 in Charlotte, 56 up in Boone. Just a beautiful, beautiful evening out there. Let me show you how cool it was this morning because, as I mentioned, this was the coolest so far this season. Officially up at Beach Mountain, by the way, 32. That's their first freeze. That's a little bit behind. They also had the first trace of sleet and snow up there. I got a couple pictures of sleet, and again, it accumulated after coming off a metal roof, so it wasn't like it was a bunch, but it slid off the roof, and there was some sleet, and I heard some reports out of Boone of the sound of sleet pellets mixing with that rain about 12:30, 1 o'clock last night. But look at the low in Charlotte, 44. That was a warm spot. It was 39 in Concord and Gastonia, so it was a cool morning this morning, and this is very similar territory to where we will be tomorrow morning as well. So it was chilly, and just to give you an idea, again, will it be the exact number? Probably pretty close in some locations. We were 44 in Charlotte. I'd say we'd be in the same ballpark, 45. Wouldn't be surprised to see some upper 30s. It is a pretty good setup for radiational cooling tonight. But tomorrow, huge, what we call diurnal swing. We could jump, in some instances, almost 40 degrees. So think about it. We could go from 39 in some neighborhoods to 79. That's a distinct possibility tomorrow. So a big swing in temperatures, 30 to 40 degree jump, and that's it. That's really a byproduct of how dry and clear and perfect these conditions are. We're going to talk a lot about this coming up with Tim in a minute, but we've got some comet viewing going on this week, Comet Lemon. We'll kind of debunk some of the myths and some of the truth. And the biggest myth is that this is going to be naked eye visible. It is not. Trust me. There's not many places that will have naked eye visibility unless you're pretty far north in the darkest of dark locations. But just a simple pair of binoculars, nothing fancy, even your smartphone zoomed in camera, 1 or 2 second exposure, you'll see this. And we'll talk more about this. We'll talk about the meteor shower, which is kind of a non-event to me. I much rather spend my effort looking for this than the meteor shower, which is not a big deal. We've got plenty of clear skies for stargazing, by the way, so get outside, enjoy it. Beautiful conditions. Dry cold front tomorrow. You see that front? Not much rain. You thought there was no rain yesterday. 7/100ths of an inch in Charlotte. That was a pretty big deal because it was the first measurable rainfall in 19 days. Let me repeat that. 19 days, 0 in the rain gauge until yesterday. And we're like, it rained, but it was 0.07 inches. So it was not a ton. Tomorrow looks like even less. So that front moves through, and what it does, it reinforces the cool, dry air, and we actually end up with even cooler conditions for the middle of the week. Here's a close-up view of the Futurecast. So right there, 6 o'clock, maybe a shower. Is it going to be over Statesville? Probably not. We're not good enough to pinpoint that exact location, but somewhere along that front, somebody's going to see some rain, and then it's going to push through, and most people will be dry. Just a lot of wind, cool, dry conditions moving in. But I do think there'll be some northwest flow snow rain mix again up in West Virginia. The cool lows this week, a lot of 40s. So the one thing, we've kind of turned the corner. We're now consistently cool. I think this is a free air conditioning weather season here. Basically, if your house gets hot, you open the windows. If it gets cold, you shut them. Call it window thermostat season because that's kind of where we are right now. But don't look for a ton of rain. 5-day rainfall forecast shows minimal rain, 20% tomorrow, and you see how tiny that chance is. Maybe just a little sliver along Interstate 40, and That's it. So if we don't get rain tomorrow, it could be a while. We'll talk about this with Tim as well. We're probably going to have Melissa forming here pretty soon. I do believe that we're going to see that form probably somewhere in the next 24 to 36 hours, if not by 11 o'clock tonight, because that looks pretty well organized. 70% in the next 2 days, 90% in the next 7. Here's the good news. This is typically where we see tropical systems this time of year. The same cold fronts, the dry fronts, that's going to steer this thing away from us if it were to develop. Not that we couldn't use some of the moisture, honestly, just a little bit maybe. But this looks to either be a Central America storm or it's going to recurve to the northeast and stay out to sea. But that would be Melissa on our names of tropical systems. So possibly we could have a named system within the next 2 days, and Tim and I will be obviously tracking that, but something we'll keep a close eye on. The jet stream pattern, we're starting to see more of a fall-like pattern. What that means is look at the dips in the jet stream. There's one. Here comes another one next week. This one next week, that's a setup right there that could lead to a wet pattern. Why? Well, you look at that. That's a cutoff low essentially over the middle of the country. Let me grab my cursor here. And so what this low will do, this low will pull up a lot of Gulf moisture, and it will help produce and bring out some rain. So this is actually a pretty good sign of a change in the pattern. This is next Wednesday, by the way, not this Wednesday. So this is next Wednesday, which is what, the 29th, I believe, or 28th. 31st is Friday. That's Halloween.
Next Wednesday
so that would
is
be
the 29th.
So it would be the 29th. So this is the Wednesday before Halloween, basically. This could be a pretty wet pattern next week, which could be a good thing. Not that I want it to rain on trick-or-treating, but that's a pattern we'll have to watch. And I'll quickly kind of show you how this looks on our long-range futurecast. I have to back up a little bit here just to give you an idea. So this week's front, you're going to see this. I'm going to play it. Not much there, right? We're dry. We go into the weekend, dry. But here comes that upper low. And you can see on Sunday it kind of developing and then kind of pushing. And look at that. That's a pretty wet pattern the middle of next week. That's...
Get it out of here by Friday.
Yeah, so let's get it out of here by Halloween. But that's something to keep an eye on for next week. So quick look at your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. We'll pop it up real quickly. The story this week is going to be dry. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, morning lows in the 40s. Stick around, though. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk more about fall color, the astronomy stuff going on this week, and much more with Tim Buckley. Stay there.